Welcome to Smart Conserver.
I have the perfect space for a vertical garden. I have over 40 feet of rough casted, unpainted and unsightly wall, and that wall is over 8 feet high. Well, I will make it more appealing before the end of this project by building a vertical garden. What is a vertical garden, you may ask? A vertical garden is a wall covered with plants that are grown in containers, or is a special material attached to the wall where planters, or as you may call it, flower pots are attached. Often there is not much space to grow things on the ground, so what some persons do is plant things vertically. Vertical planting can be essential to persons who are especially living in apartments or those living in homes with not much outdoor space. With that explanation, I remember telling you I wanted a vertical wooden planter, one that I can make into a vertical garden. I do have space, but to hide that unsightly wall I was telling you about, I plan to make a vertical garden to cover it. To explain what I want, I even made a vlog where I told you about it. The vlog was entitled Conserving, Use What You Have to Make a Planter Pot, where I had this clip. Look and listen to it. I love to see the vertical gardens, and I have made steps to create a few, but what I'm using palettes. I'll show you what I have seen and liked, and then I'll show you in another vlog how I make mine. I've started, and the one that I'm planning to make, it will be all wood with planters hanging, some solar lights and a little decor to add whimsy. Just stay tuned to the vlog. As soon as I'm done, I'll show you. So now you see what I liked and what I wanted. The next step is to set out to get the materials that are required to complete the task. I must inform you, it's done and installed. Let me tell you about it and show you how it's done. I will first tell you the materials that I used, and I will also tell you the cost, if any, that's associated with these materials. So now to the materials. 2 wooden pallets. I didn't pay anything for this. I got it for free. However, the 2 wooden pallets one was slightly smaller than the other. Self-tapping screws, 1 inch and inch and a half. The cost of this was about 400 Jamaican dollars. Finishing nails, 1 inch. I got those for free. Cable clips, 186 Jamaican dollars. I had some cable clips before, and when I started using it, it was finished. It wasn't a sealed pack. It was finished, so I had to go out and purchase some more. And as a matter of fact, the one that I purchased for the $186, it still wasn't finished. Then I got some butterfly solar lights, 2 packs for $14 for the both of them. I had a little issue with the butterfly solar lights. When I purchased it, I thought I purchased the daylight color. However, when it came, they came multicolored. I didn't have a choice. I just had to use them. I also got a solar rope light for $7. I haven't used this yet. And I'll tell you why later down in the vlog. I got 6 metal butterflies. These were the large ones. And all of that I got for 20 US dollars. I also got some small metal butterflies for 5 US dollars. It was 6 of them as well. I used Sherwin-Williams locker. I can't tell you the price as I got it some time ago, so I can't remember the price. But I didn't have to buy it for this trip. Those were the materials. However, notice that some I received for free. Some I purchased a long time ago when we were doing the home expansion. And a few I had to buy. I already told you the cost of the ones that I had to purchase. The major material that I wanted to start this project, they were the pallets, as there was no other way to get that size and length board that I wanted to do this project. I had to make sure that I got the pallets first before purchasing any light and any other decor. The pallets were not hard to get. You just had to find the right person or the place that had it and was willing to give it to you for free. The problem with the pallets was to take it home. So, here's what I did. After receiving the pallets, a gentleman offered to pull it apart. However, the first set that he pulled apart had some split in the board. When he was pulling it apart, the board split. But I used them anyway. I nailed and screwed the wood together in a little design of my choice. I used the full length of the wood as I wanted the vertical wooden planter as big as it could be. After setting up 2 full lengths of the board, I realized I had more board left. So I made 2 half the size of the board length in width. So now I end up with 4 vertical wooden planters, 2 big ones and 2 smaller ones. The area I wanted to place these were huge, so having the 4 was no worries. The only worries that I anticipated with building the 2 large ones and the 2 small ones was the lights that I purchased. Remember I told you I purchased 2 string butterfly solar lights and 1 solar rope light? Yeah. So I had 1 less because I didn't anticipate building so many of those wooden planters. Anyway, after nailing and screwing, I realized something that I should have done before. I should have sanded the boards before nailing and screwing them up. This would help as it would be smooth, fully finished and ready for the locker. You see, when I had to sand it after it was all nailed and screwed up, it made it a little difficult to reach certain spots of the vertical planter. So what happened was that some sections were not as smooth as I wanted it to be. Anyway, I got around that and ensured that I sanded the sections that would be exposed. With the exposed sections now smooth, I decided to set up the screws and the cable clip to accommodate the design that I wanted for this vertical planter. It wasn't hard deciding where to place the butterflies, so I just inserted the screws and hung the butterflies up. In fact, what I did sometimes was I did a test run. I just hold it to the spot and then see if it looked good, and it did. So what I eventually did, I realized that it was better if I placed 2 large butterflies and 1 small one on the larger wooden vertical planter, and for the smaller wooden vertical planter I had 1 large butterfly and 2 small ones. I really love the large butterflies, but I couldn't use 3 of them on any one planter as they were really big, and it would really take away from what I wanted the vertical planter to do, and that is to hang my flower pots filled with herbs and succulents while giving that appealing and exquisite look. The cable clips were nailed on. The size cable clips were 1/8, and it was just the right size to hold the solar lights. Both the rope light and the butterfly lights, they would hold it in place. At the time when I was nailing on the cable clips, I didn't decide where I would place the butterfly string lights or where I would place the rope light. I just know that because the lights had to be affixed, I placed the cable clips in a pattern to hold the light in place when I decide which light I would use. Then it was time to apply the lacquer. It went on clear, making the grain of the wood more visible while giving it a sheen after the second application. The first application of the lacquer was like it was sucked in by the board. It's like the board was thirsty for it. It was only after applying the second application that I started to see a little sheen. To apply the lacquer, I used a brush. It wasn't an expensive brush. I paid about probably near $100, 100 Jamaican dollars for one. In fact, about 3. It was some little cheap brush, so what I did, I ended up paying probably about $80 each when it worked out. Right. The first coat of the lacquer, like I tell you, it dried quickly. I was surprised. So I applied the second coat, and after that was dry quickly as well. I really wasn't expecting the lacquer to dry so fast, as I was expecting to leave it for a good 24 hours to really dry. You know me and this 24 hours thing. But then I realized that after 10-15 minutes, it was so dry that I could hold the vertical planter, turn it around to paint the other side with the lacquer, and it still would not mess me up as it was really dry. Within 2 hours, I painted all 4 vertical planters, giving multiple coating and getting the required sheen. At the end of it all, I looked at the 4 planters, and as is, without any decor, they really look good. I was really proud of my handiwork. Well, the next step was to get them installed on the wall and apply the decor. And that's where the concrete screw came in. The planters had to be drilled first to mark where the screws should be, and it was modeled to the wall to indicate where the wall should be drilled. I wanted the concrete screws to be countersink in the board. For those who don't know what countersink meant, it's really to enlarge and bevel the rim of a drilled hole so that a screw, nail or bolt can be inserted flush with the surface. So now you have an idea as to what I wanted. My reason for wanting the concrete screws to be countersink in the board was because it make it look better, and the plan is to eventually cover the concrete screw so that the persons looking on would wonder how I attach a vertical planter to the wall, as no screws would be seen. You know, this looks like it's going to be a long video. So here what? We're going to pause here until next week, and then we'll continue. After we attach the planter to the wall, I'll tell you more and even show you more videos and photos of the finished look. So next week.
You have come to the end of another series. Join us next time for more ways to conserve.